Good morning everyone. This is our subtopic 2 for chapter 2, graphing rational functions. So recall that a rational function is of the form p of x over q of x, where p of x and q of x are polynomials. The domain of the rational function is the set of all real numbers except zeros of the denominator of q of x. Okay? Take note of this, except zeros of the denominator of q of x, meaning when q of x is equal to 0, because q of x must not be equal to 0. That is why we use the word except. Now, first we have this. What is a vertical asymptote? Vertical asymptotes, we have this. The line x equals a is a vertical asymptote for the graph of a function f if f of x approaches positive infinity or f of x approaches negative infinity as x approaches a from either the left or the right. So meaning si f of x mupasa ka, no, positive infinity kay y man ni siya, and f of x approaches down, depende as x approaches a or from the left or right. Now, the important thing here is how do we compute for the vertical asymptote? To compute the vertical asymptote, you have here this. X is we have this, no? So we will use the denominator. So the values of a are the zeros of the denominator. So when we talk about vertical asymptotes, you look at the denominator and solve for the value of x. Okay, to find a, equate the denominator to 0 and the solve for x. We'll have an example later. Ang horizontal asymptote is this. The line y equals x is the horizontal asymptote for the graph of a function f if f of x approaches c as x approaches infinity or as x approaches negative infinity. To understand that further, we have this theorem. We will use this theorem. So if we're given with a rational function of this form in general, this is a general form, where our leading coefficients are not 0. So delete 0. Consider the following conditions. So if n is less than k, meaning the exponent in the numerator is less than k, mas gamay kay k. So our horizontal asymptote is just y equals 0 or the x-axis. So meaning if we have this xy plane, so this is just our horizontal asymptote. Horizontal man, so horizontal gahigda. If they are equal, so if n and k are equal, then just take the ratio of the leading coefficients. Okay, but if n is greater than k, then there is no horizontal asymptote. Okay, by this theorem. We will apply that later. Okay, x and y intercepts. X-intercept is the point where a function crosses the x-axis, and y-intercept is the point where the function crosses the y-axis. By the word itself, intercept, no? Nag-intercept, murag ni intersect. So kung x-intercept sa x-axis siya, so diri siya siya ni cross. For example, this one. And for the y-intercept, kung siya ni cross sa y-axis. That is your y-intercept. So to get the x-intercept, let your y be equal to 0 and solve for x. On the other hand, opposite ang y-intercept. Si x na pod ang is 0 and solve for y. Okay? Kay x-intercept man, so we need to solve for the value of x. Ang other variable will be equated to 0. Y-intercept man, so we need the value of y. And the other variable will be 0, which is x. So these are the steps sa pag-construct sa graph. So first is we need to find the vertical and horizontal asymptotes. Okay? Ang vertical asymptotes, ito, denominator, equate to 0. Okay? Ang horizontal will be by the theorem. Okay? Then find the x and y intercepts. Then plot sa xy plane. Then we will revisit this one from our previous topic. It is easy to understand these steps if we will now proceed to our main example. So please listen, because this is our only example, because the process is too long for a particular problem. Okay, so sketch the graph of this rational function. Okay, find its domain and range, but we will concentrate first on the steps katong 1 to 7. Okay, 1 to 7 steps. Later na ning domain and range. Okay, now first is we need to get the asymptotes, pero nag-start siya intercept. Okay, so let's start with that. Intercept na lang. So the same lang. Let's start with step number 2, intercept. So sa intercept, y-intercept, we let x equal 0. Okay, y-intercept man siya, si x equals 0. X-intercept man eh, so si y equals 0. Okay, so using this given expression, so we have 3 times 0 is 0, 8 times 0 is 0, then negative 3. Substitute lang jud. So these are all 0. Negative 3 divided by negative 4 is positive 3/4. So therefore, our first y-intercept is 0 cx, positive 3/4 cy. Okay, next. For the x-intercept, or ang zeros, x-intercept, si y ang 0. So meaning, from this equation, 0 siya. Then we have 3x squared minus 8x minus 3 all over 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. Okay? Then, solving for x, pag cross-multiply ni mo ana, kay 0 over 1 man eh, ma-0 na lang. Ang left side, 0 is equal to 3x squared minus 8x minus 3. Okay? Then factor. What are the factors? We have 3x plus 1 times x minus 3. Okay, that is why we have this. 3x plus 1 equals 0. This one, and x minus 3. So solving for x is negative 1/3 and x is 3. So we have two y-intercept. Negative 1/3 0. And then the other one is 3 0. Okay, so we have now our intercept. Next, let's go to the vertical asymptote. So the vertical asymptote will be sa denominator. So 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. So this is our denominator. But the factors are these. 2x minus 1 times x plus 4. So we will use that para dali. So 2x minus 1 and x plus 4. This is sa denominator. Then gifactor. That is why we have 2x minus 1 and x plus 4. Solving for x is 1/2 and x is negative 4. Now what is our horizontal asymptote? Take note, we have the exponent here is 2. And the exponent sa denominator is also 2. So n is equal to k. So by the theorem, just take the ratio of the leading coefficients. Sa may leading coefficient, we have 3 and 2. Okay, so that is why we have 3 halves. Okay. Okay, now let's plot. First, let's plot the intercept. 0 and 3/4. 0 and 3/4. Tama na. So, at 0, 3/4. So, kani. This is the y-intercept. This is your y-intercept. And next, we have negative 1/3, 0, and 3, 0. So, we have this as our x-intercept. Negative 1/3, 0, and 3, 0. So, these two our x-intercept. Take note, x-intercepts meaning nag-intersect siya sa x. Y-intercept, it intercepts the y-axis. Okay, next, we have the vertical asymptotes. So, when we talk about vertical asymptotes, there are lines. No, pati horizontal asymptotes. So, x equals 1/2. This is a horizontal line. Vertical line, I mean. So, x positive 1/2. So, this one, vertical asymptote. This one. Another vertical asymptote, x equals negative 4. So, this one, vertical asymptote. Since we have 2 vertical asymptotes. Okay. Next, we have the horizontal asymptote. So, another line which is y equals 3 halves. So, 3 halves is 1.5. So, this is 1. So, 0.5 is at the middle. So, this one. So, this broken line. So, this is our horizontal asymptote. So far, we have that. Okay. What is next? We need to construct the table of sines. And in this case, we will only use the values of our x. Okay, x lang man. So what are our values of our x pag compute? We have the x-intercepts and the vertical asymptotes. Okay, kaya ang horizontal asymptote manggod kay y. Then ang y-intercept kay y pod. We only need the x. So I repeat, sa interval, we only need the x-intercepts and the vertical asymptotes. Okay? And then arrange them. So arrange. So naka-arrange na ni siya. No? So the negative 4 1/2. Negative 1/3 3. Ito sang isulat be. For the intercepts, we have computed negative 1/3 and 3. For the vertical asymptotes, we have computed 1/2 and negative 4. Okay, for the interval, we need to arrange them. So the smallest is negative 4. Next is negative 1/3, then 1/2 and 3. So if you have this, okay, I will create first a number line. So we have negative 4, negative 1/3, 1/2, and 3. So the same in solving rational inequality, same concept lang. We will create an interval. So we have this first interval, x less than negative 4. Next interval, x is between negative 4 and negative 1/3. Next interval, x is between negative 1/3 and 1/2. Next interval is this, 1/2 to 3. And the last interval is from 3 to infinity, or x greater than 3. And again, we need your test points. So pick one here, one elements from these intervals. Do not use the endpoints. Okay, use another number. Okay, so say for example, we have these test points, negative 10, negative 2, 0, 1, and 10. Now, take note, this uses the factors na, no? So, of the given rational functions. So, these two are for the numerator and these two is for the denominator. Okay. Now, saan gini? In order for us to get the signs inside this table, you need to substitute your test points and just copy the sign of the result. Okay? For example lang, if x is negative 10, so we have 3x plus 1. So 3 times negative 10. X is negative 10 plus 1. Negative 30 plus 1. So negative 29. That is why negative ni siya dire. And so on. So substitute na po ka. Negative 10. X minus 3. So negative 10 minus 3. Negative 13. So negative. No? And so on. You just continue this by substitution. Okay? And then, for this part, sa lowest part of the table or lowest row, you just follow the arrangement. 3x plus 1 is negative. For example, this one. Negative times x minus 3, katapad. So, negative divided by, sa denominator, we have negative times negative. Negative ni. Okay. So, negative times negative, positive. Negative times negative, positive. So, positive divided by positive, positive. That is why positive na. Okay, next. Ano po kayo? Negative times negative. Then, negative times positive. So, positive. Negative times positive is negative. So, this is negative. That is why it is negative. Then, you continue. Okay? Now, again, natadiri. So, this time, this is not a rational inequality where we will choose positive or negative. No? This is not the case. Here, we need to graph. Okay? In graphing, if the positive sign indicates that the curve will be above the x-axis. Okay, this one above the x-axis, and the minus sign will be below the x-axis. So this, in this case, we have positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. So above, below, above, below, above, below. So let's have this. Okay, so we have this, diba? From the previous example. Okay. This one. Take note that these are vertical asymptotes. Then the intercepts. And then the horizontal asymptotes. Now, at x less than negative 4, it is above the x-axis. Okay, so nasa 3 above the x-axis. Okay, nga naman, why is it that we cannot draw it like this, dire? Okay, by the way, you can have your, you can have points here. Set a value, give values of x, and then find the values of your f of x so that you will see the graph. Nga dira, just taas. Okay, but take note that in this particular topic, once lang mag-intersect ang graph. Okay, only once lang mag-intersect ang graph if naa sa horizontal asymptotes. Now in this case, manggod, the graph intersects the horizontal asymptotes at this point. Okay, sa middle. So that is why pag ingon diri nga x less than negative 4 is above the x-axis, we cannot draw the graph like this. Kaya nag-intersect naman siya diri, and the graph will intersect the horizontal asymptote once lang yun. So that is why dira gyud siya sa taas sa horizontal asymptote. And we cannot draw it like this ng above. Nana. Okay, kay mag-arrow magud ta, meaning musa ka pag extend pag yun na. So that dili gid pwede. Okay? Or the easiest part good is maghatag kag values sa imong x less than negative 4. Okay? So nata, we have that first portion. So for the first portion, we have that graph. Now, between negative 1/3 and negative 4, meaning in this area, below. So below the x-axis, so from this point below, so pababa. Oh, asymptote man eh, so meaning, mo almost touch lang siya. So, just imagine nga, from a point here, from point negative 1/3, the graph will approach x at negative 4 vertical asymptote. Okay? And next, for this next na interval, this interval, it is above the x-axis. So, pasa ka from 0. Take note mo, intersect man siya diri. So, muagi siya dira. Okay. So, diri yung intersection sa horizontal axis. Horizontal asymptote. So, since this is a vertical asymptote, so, mag-approach na po siya. Okay. So, we're done with this. Next, from 1/2 to 3, so this interval, below the x-axis, so from here, below. And, next, last is this one. Okay. Ngano ganin siya magkuan lang, approaching the horizontal asymptote? Because, kas lang yun siya mo intersect. Diri. Okay, na-intersect naman siya diri. So, di na siya pwede mo intersect balik diri sa taas. Di na siya pwede mo ana, okay? Kaya na may intersection diri. Only once lang ang intersection sa horizontal. Okay? So, na. Okay, so my suggestion is if more than 2 ang interval, you start at the center. Okay? Okay, para ma-check ninyo if nag-intersect ba siya sa horizontal asymptote. Also, to know if nag-intersect siya sa horizontal asymptote, you will equate the function to the horizontal asymptote. So in this case, 'di ba? Our HA, okay. Our HA is 3/2 horizontal asymptote. No? And we're given with a function f of x. So you must solve the value of your x. F of x equals 3/2. Okay? Pangitaan ni ang value of x nimo kay na naman kay y dire. This will be your horizontal asymptote. So, go back to the given and solve for x. So, you can find that based on the graph, your x will be somewhere here. No, you will arrive at x somewhere dire. Maybe between 0 and 1/2. You will arrive that your x here, kani nga x dire, is between 0 and 1/2. No? So, you will find the intersection point here, your x and your 3/2. Okay, so using your computer, this will be our graph. So, do the activities. Okay.